Welcome back to the Rugby League Guru podcast. We have got our sixth episode of At the Table, going through and picking the four best front row forwards of the NRL era, 98 and onwards. If you haven't listened to the 5 episodes before this, make sure you go and check them out. Some cracking conversations in there. Front row, a really interesting position for me, Matty. I think it's the position that's changed the most in the last 20 years.
Definitely.
Like the output has the apex front rower 20 years ago compared to now, I don't think there's a bigger gap between those dudes.
I think if like Haas, Tino, Tarpany, like people like that, Terrell May even, because of the pure numbers, would do these numbers in 2004, they'd be like immortals back then.
100%. And I think the list goes, I think, Josh Papali'i, I think. There's a heap of guys that you probably don't have in the number one tier who would still just be absolutely blowing it away, in my opinion. Personally, like I even think now, Taumalolo's so far past his best. But if you took the good version of him today back to 2004, he'd be the best front row in rugby league too.
He could be the best forward of all time. I could hear that.
Yeah. So, yeah, look, and it's no disrespect to front rowers that have come before. I think the reality is the front row forwards of, the early 2000s, I personally think they would have absolutely run a train through the best front rowers from the 70s.
It's just the way it is.
It's the way it is, the way that sport should be. And as crazy as it may seem right now looking at Payne Haas, the guy in 30 years' time should have it over Payne Haas. I'm not sure if he will, to be honest with you. I think I kind of think we've hit the peak, but I don't think we'll see as big a jump in 20-year increments than we have in the last 20 years.
If we do, oh my God, look out.
Yeah, look out. It's fucking terrifying. But, I think a lot of the guys that we're talking about today that are the modern day guys, they're obviously Polynesian forwards coming through, and I think that they've set a new bar for the young Polynesian guys coming through in the next 30 years, a new bar to chase. And it's scary to think where it could go.
We're blessed with props at the moment. It's the best position by far.
It is, yeah. It was sort of the gold period. Yeah.
But now it's props for sure.
Yeah. All right. Now, the first thing we're going to say off the top, and we had a long discussion about this. One, I think it just makes the conversation more interesting. Two, he probably didn't have the influence post-98 to put him into this echelon. We're going to talk Glenn Lazarus first because he's not in our 4, and that's simply because it's 98 onwards. Now, Lazarus, he won in 99. He retired after that. I don't think Lazarus in 1999 was the best front row forward in the game. So for me, the influence probably isn't enough to put him in there. It's a tough call, but I think it also makes the conversation a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Lazarus, one of the GOATs, no doubt about it. If you told me he's the best front row forward you've ever seen, I'd go, okay, I get where you're coming from.
Also got the best nickname ever, the Brick with Eyes.
With eyes. Unreal.
What a nickname that is.
Fucking sensational.
But 3 comps at 3 comps at 3 different clubs?
Yep.
Like, he's probably number 1.
He's probably number 1 overall. I think it's worth noting those 3 comps, they were the first comps that all 3 of those teams won as well, which matters. Foundational success. So
I tell you what, if he's not number 1, he was number 1 2 weeks ago.
Yes, that's probably fair.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And you know what? I think if Lazarus wins the comp with Melbourne in 2002, he's in my top 4. He's probably the guy on it, realistically. But just the 99, I don't know. It just becomes a bit of a tight call there. So we're taking Lazarus out of it. Get upset about that if you like, but just know that we respect him as one of the greatest of all time. Number 1 for me, as you said, mate, he would have been in the top 4 last week. Now he's probably number 1 for me. I'm going to nominate Payne Haas.
Yep. I think that's a clear number 1.
Yeah, I think, and once again, I do think that's very unfair on Webcke, Civoniceva, other guys we're going to talk about today because the game has changed. But I think the way that he has influenced the positional change and the stuff that he's doing at the moment, and it's not just the numbers he's doing, it's the little effort plays that we're seeing time and time again. You go back to that prelim final this year alone, some of the efforts that he made as far as cleaning up balls and the amount of times we've seen him be the guy to knock balls over the dead ball line when they've been kicked from 30 out, just that insane shit. I just can't look past Haas.
He's like a generational anomaly.
Yeah.
Basically. Like the sheer numbers that he does, but then he just the quality of the numbers as well. He's so good that a bit unlike Toto, we've kind of become used to what Toto does. I think people are still impressed by the shit Payne Haas chugs out every week, probably just because of the position he's in. But like a perfect example, I know you mentioned, but like that effort on Cleary in the prelim is just one of a million things that he does. Like he was there. He's always there. He's just always there
in the frame
in the 80th minute. He's just a super athlete, generational anomaly, as I said. I hope he doesn't go to rugby because we would be losing a generational player.
I think the other thing with Payne Haas for me that excels him to number one is that I think with these front row forwards nowadays, the really good ones, they can fit into two categories. I think the ones that can play enormous minutes and then the ones that can just break the game open to a ridiculous extent. He fits into both of those categories for me in that, I look at Terrell May, he's playing big minutes. I think that the impact he has on games and the way that he's able to break games open is probably less than Payne Haas. Payne Haas does both.
Yeah.
Like Tarpanay is more of an impact guy for me. Can play the minutes, but he's an impact guy. Payne Haas, if you need him to go 80, he'll do it. And if you need him to go 80 minutes like he's playing 50, he'll do it.
Yeah.
It's what separates him for me.
And then, I agree with both of those things.
Yeah.
But then, he gets in open space and he's just so quick.
Yeah.
If Eli Katoa dummied the other day and Reece Walsh went for Pappenhausen, Payne Haas probably would have got Katoa.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what's crazy, and I know this is outrageous, but my first thought was when Reece Walsh tackled Pappenhausen, I had a little thought, I know it wouldn't happen, but I had a little thought going, is Pappy going to get tackled by Haas? Because Haas was in full, he wouldn't have. But the fact that he's just in the frame, he's always there, he's so quick for a big front rower. He's just he ticks every single box.
Yeah. Absolute freak. I think the other thing with him as well is that this year you've really seen this offload emerge to a new level, which I think is game changing.
Well, he had the most offloads in the comp this year.
Yeah, pretty incredible. Yeah, he had equal with Jacob Kiraz, but 70 offloads in a season is ridiculous. Fucking crazy. He's averaging 2.9 per game. Absolutely wild. I think the big thing with Payne Haas, mate, and I don't want to take anything away from Terrell May's season. It was incredible, but Terrell May was a bit of a shock to everyone. We didn't really see this coming. We don't know what to expect. Teams and the best coaches have had 6 years worth of tape or more than that on Payne Haas. They know what they're going to get and they still can't stop him.
Yeah.
Which I think is what elevates him. We haven't seen Terrell May go and do it in the rep arena. We've seen Payne Haas do it in Origin.
Especially the last 2 years. And people are he doesn't churn out 200 metres a game in Origin. He's been our best Origin player the last 2 years, for sure.
He's been incredible the last 2 seasons. So Payne Haas, I think he is number one. I think that the way that the era has changed, the eras have changed in the last 20 years, obviously plays a role. But I think that Payne Haas would be I think he'd be even more effective in the past as well. And I think he's just laying a new foundation for front rowers. So Payne Haas at 1. He's got the premiership as well, so he's got the ring. I think he'll get more in the future. But Payne Haas at 1. Who do you want to nominate?
Now, this is where it doesn't get as obvious for me.
Yes.
But I'm going to go Shane Webcke.
Yeah. I had Shane Webcke at 2. I think that's very fair.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that back in the day you don't want to mess with. You know?
I think that front rower now is, you have to be one of the toughest on the field, but you have to be one of the most athletic. You have to be, there's so many aspects you have to do. I think a big part of being the best front rower in rugby league in the early 2000s was you just have to be the toughest motherfucker on the field, and that'll do a lot of the work for you. And Shane Webcke, year in, year out, was the toughest front rower in rugby league. You go back to the 2000 grand final, obviously playing with a broken arm. And I know Jerome Hughes did it this year, but sports science has come pretty far in 20 years.
And also, Webke's playing in the middle.
Yes.
And he has to have a presence.
Yeah.
And what Jerome Hughes did was mad. But, what Webke did was phenomenal.
And I think for Webcke, similar to Haas, he was never not dominant. It was every single fucking week. And every week, similar to Haas, everyone would play whoever was playing the Broncos, their front rowers would go, okay, this is your opportunity to show what you can do. This is your opportunity to earn a rep jersey by taking on Shane Webcke. And he just stood and delivered every single week.
And apparently he was that guy at training that was just always leading. He'd spray you if you weren't showing up. He'd be a great teammate on the field, but I reckon he'd be pretty intimidating to his teammates when he's at training and stuff. He's 100%. Just one of those guys.
Yeah, I think as well his unique body shape as well. don't see too many guys like him, and I don't think you'll see them into the future. I think Payne Haas will be the new mould for how you want your front rowers, which I think is the greatest example of how much it's changed. But Shane Webcke, a born leader, obviously Broncos, Queensland, Australia, was always the top dog for a long period of time there. Yep. Number 3 for me, I know they played in the same team, mate, but I find Petro very hard to go past.
He's my 3 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Petro, similar, we've spoken about other guys during this series that, Matt Cooper's underappreciated because he was with Mark Gasnier. I think Hodges is underappreciated because he was playing Origin with GI. I think Petro's really underappreciated because he played with Shane Webcke and not only club, but rep. Queensland Kangaroos always. It was weird as shit seeing him play for the Penrith Panthers for a brief period of time there. Made the return to the Broncos. He just never lost a contest, Petro. Yeah. Never, ever. And I think he's a little bit more in that body shape of the modern day front rower than what Shane Webcke was. But I just had so much respect for him consistently. He would never lose a contact his entire career. Once again, do I think that, some of the front rowers today, now that I don't consider to be at the same level of Payne Haas, might be better than Petro, potentially. But the game's changed. And Petro at the time with Webcke was just the GOAT.
Oh, it's the best front row combination there is. Like, you could argue Fish and Leota. It's a debate for another day, but I think what helps Petro as well is his impact on the first half of that Queensland dominant era. I know Webcke kind of stopped in 2006, and Webcke was a great Origin player, but Petro was the front rower in that Queensland team from 2006-ish to whatever finished in 2012, I think it was.
Yeah.
And that simply can't be understated either.
Yeah. I think with Petro as well, like he obviously played in the 98 grand final that I think people forget as well. So 98, 2000, 2006, he obviously had a brief stint when I say brief stint, it was 4 years. I didn't realise it was that long. I thought he was only there for a year or two. Yeah, right. Geez. Wow. But I do think when it comes to Petro, I think it was what he did in Origin consistently.
It was,
And I think you mentioned it as well, like how Lockie, a lot of his biggest moments for the Kangaroos, I feel like Petro was similar.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, he was fucking amazing for the Kangaroos always.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have anything to back this up, but I kind of have a vibe of Petro maybe being the better one for the Kangaroos than Webcke was.
I think so.
Queensland, I go Webcke. But
it's
Petro.
different though, because like Webcke was obviously ahead of Petro just because he was more senior and he was older. But like what Petro did at the back end of his career for Queensland was so good.
Yeah. And
they're both Queensland legends.
Just having a look through here, 3 premierships, 9 State of Origin shields. Pretty fucking impressive. Only got the Dally M prop 1 year.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I thought that'd be a little bit more. But yeah, I think it's just the stats and everything. I don't overly care. And you know what? To be fair to him, there was only one guy that won Dally M Prop of the Year from 2000 to 2004. His name was Shane Webcke.
Okay, well, there you go.
And yeah, maybe there's an argument that, Webcke and him together, it sort of elevated them both. Sure. But fuck, both were just so good in their position. I find them very hard to go past.
And like, they were pretty similar on the field, but they couldn't be more different people off the field.
Yeah.
Like Webcke was just that ruthless, hardworking country Queensland guy who you just don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
Whereas Petro off the field, I remember I met him at the Auckland Nines and he was like this just big, gentle giant. I'm just like, how are you one of the most destructive props of all time?
Okay. I have no idea what direction I'm going here. I've got a few names written down, and I guess it depends what you value, what you look at.
Yep.
What names have you got here?
I'm pretty confident on this one. I'm going Andrew Fafita.
Yep, wasn't one of the names I had down. He was in one of my unlucky categories, but yep, take it away.
I think he was the best prop in the game for about 4 or 5 years. He has the best try in the Cronulla Sharks history.
Yep.
He has what I believe is the best front row performance in an Origin game for the Blues, 2017 Game 1.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely ridiculous. He should have had a Clive. Like, he was the most dominant person for 4 or 5 years. And he was a bit ahead of his time as well.
Yes.
Like you see people like Fafita
You're putting
now.
up a fucking good argument.
Yeah. You see people like Fafita now, but there was no one like him back in the day. Like when he got he's probably bigger than Payne Haas, but when he gets in open space, he's just as quick as well. Maybe not as athletic, but he was just an absolute freak, Andrew Fafita.
You put up a very, very good argument. He was, at the time, he was a one of one.
Yeah. Who are your
Very
names?
fair. Okay, well, the names that I had down, I think James Fisher-Harris is obviously one of them for me. What he's done for the Panthers over the last years, obviously they're at the Warriors now doing great things. Maybe he's too early in his career, but I mean, I don't know how you can ignore 4 premierships. Mate, the other one for me that you probably won't love this, but Warrior Hargraves.
Yeah, no, I agree. He was. I had thought about him on Friday as well.
You know, there'll be in the comments people go, "I don't like him. He's a fuckwit." He's meant to be a fuckwit.
Yeah,
that's his job, to make you hate him, and he's just about done it better than anyone over the last few years.
He's probably a bit too far. He was not ahead of his time. He was behind his time.
I think he was behind his time as well.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that when you look at the Roosters' history, and you all see it in the comments every week and whatnot, Roosters can go and buy whoever they want. They didn't. They stuck with this one dude the entire time.
Yeah.
He won 3 premierships with them. I know for a long time there was that stat getting around just how their success rate dropped massively when he wasn't on the field. And I think that there will always be an aspect in rugby league that will always matter, that it doesn't come across in stats and that sort of stuff. But when you've got the toughest guy on the field, it always counts for something.
The fact that across everything, he's started, not played, started in the front row in 322 games is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And, I don't, if I look at JWH, and you said to me, what was he the best at? I don't think there's anything, but he's the best at getting under your skin. His presence was fucking enormous. And, you go back, I think the other thing that matters is that, you mentioned Andrew Fafita, and it was a really fair argument there that he should have won the Clive Churchill medal. There's no doubt whatsoever he was the best player on the field that night. JWH reportedly going to get the Clive Churchill medal in 19. What happened in that conversation, I don't know. It ended up in around the neck of Jack Whiten. I'm sort of torn between those two. I think Fafita's a good shout. So there were some other guys that I threw in here. I think if you're going to throw Fish in, I think Leota has to be in the conversation of it. The other one is Jesse Bromwich to me.
I didn't think about him,
Very, very good for a long time. Didn't have the highs of other guys, but obviously was at the Melbourne Storm for a long time, a stalwart there, went to the Dolphins, did great things. The other one that I just want to throw in there as well, and he sort of played a few positions, so he's a hard guy to place, but if you gave me your best team ever and you had this guy in the front row, Ruben Webcke, I'd go, I get it.
Yeah,
I 100% fucking get it. I can't put him in the top 4 here.
Yeah.
But he's another one that on his day, he could get the better of any of these guys and it wouldn't shock me in the
Speaking
slightest.
of presence.
Yeah.
Jeez, he had a presence.
Not to be fucked with, Ruben Webcke.
A name I thought of was Matt Scott.
Yes.
He was great for a certain period there for the Cowboys and for Queensland and Australia as well. Him and Tamo had a great combo for a while there. But again, so many of these front rowers are just not the front rowers from today.
Yes.
It's funny how it's just changed pretty much at the drop of a hat, immediately.
Yep. We've got Fafita, we've got Fish, and we've got Warrior Hargraves. We need to pick one of them.
Yep.
Sit in the final seat. I think when you're looking at their peak, who was the most dangerous, it's Fafita. I don't think there's any real questioning that. When you look at influence over a long period of time, I think it's Warrior Hargraves. When you look at influence over a short period of time, I think it's Fish. I think similar to Jerome Luai, we have to respect that they won 4 in a row. He left. They stopped winning.
I think I want to put Fafita on, but I have to be very objective. I think the best of both worlds, shout out Hannah Montana, is Jared Hero-Hargraves because he's won the 3 comps and he's had the longevity and he's had the influence.
And whether you want to look at it, whether it matters or not, even just what he did this week over in the Super League, I sort of had Fish in front of Jared Hero-Hargraves because I sort of look at more so what you did across a long period of time. That's what I value a little bit more, which is why I didn't have Fafita in that conversation. Once again, it's all subjective, and I looked at what Hero-Hargraves did the other day and, what he achieved there, and I just okay, it's another cap there.
Tell you what, I would have loved, and I know they're both Kiwis, but seeing both, especially Hargraves, imagine Hargraves playing for the Blues. He was built for State of Origin. So is Fish.
Yeah.
But Fafita was built for it and he delivered.
Yeah. I think as well, we were all saying Payne Haas is number 1. I personally believe every time he's played him, Fish has probably got the better of Payne Haas. so far
Yeah.
in big games, and Payne Haas was enormous. He was probably the difference between the Panthers and the Broncos in their prelim final, and of course it was the first prelim final he played the Panthers without Fish.
Yeah.
Which I think has to count for something. I'm torn between Fish and Maria Hargraves.
We'll see. I'm torn between Fafita and Wahira Hargraves.
Okay, so as far as Fisher Harris goes for you, it's just too early?
Too early.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's more to achieve, more to come?
If the Warriors win the comp in the next 5 years and he's there, he's straight in.
Straight in, and I think it matters more if he's straight in the era of the more mobile, offloading giant front row, that he's still, just the toughest prick to exist. That makes it really special to me. That's where I think Fish could get into the conversation of Petro and Webcke.
Yep, definitely.
Haas, I don't know if he's going to be able to beat because of the highs, but once again, if we get to the end of his career and Haas has got 2 prems and Fish has got 5, 6, and 2 of them are with the Warriors.
Yeah. Also, Fish was the captain of the 30-0 Pacific champs.
Correct. Yep.
There's a World Cup coming up. This World Cup is going to change a lot of this, I reckon.
Yeah, it's gonna be a crowning moment in someone's career for sure. And I think as well, for the first time ever, a World Cup for the Kangaroos, I think actually means something.
Yeah, definitely.
Like winning a World Cup now is a good achievement in my opinion. You're gonna, the Kangaroos to win a World Cup previously had to play a good grand final day against a side that was all chips in.
Well, I reckon we have the 3rd best forward pack.
Yeah, very fair. Yeah, the Kangaroos, if they're going to win a World Cup, they're going to have to win 3 hard games in a row to do it. So it moves the needle massively,
big time
on a few fronts. Gun to head.
Well, I think if we're agreeing, I think we both have Jared Wahira Hargraves, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards Fish, Rhea Hargraves. You're leaning towards Rhea Hargraves for Fafita.
Yeah.
So I think JWH probably takes it. And then I think we have Fish and Fafita as the next 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Unluckiest to be there. So obviously Fish, he's the one with so much more to go in his career that could get in there. Leota's another one. Haas is already in there. Who's the other front rowers that are running around today that you think could?
Well, there's 2. Tino, and I know he's a lock, but whatever.
Yeah.
And Tarpanay. Probably Tarpanay ahead, just.
Yeah, okay. What about AFB?
Oh, yeah, true. Yep, he's in there as well. I knew I was forgetting one.
There's a few that could jump out of the ground over the next few years. I'll tell you what's hard to now with front row forward because of obviously winning comps matters.
Yeah.
I think as well, with the Dally M system, I don't think front row forward's a bad spot to get a good gauge of front row forwards. Just sucks this year about the suspension thing.
Wait, what do you mean?
I think that for a lot of positions, I think that the Dally M system, I don't really like it for who gets it. I don't think it's a great representation. I generally think Dally M front rower of the year is normally pretty good.
It's normally pretty good.
It's normally pretty good. I think because they give 2 of them, if you're not one of those 2, sure, you might have been unlucky, but I don't think it's a robbery.
Well, because I think Terrell May should have won if Tarpanay was suspended.
Yeah.
So, really, no one was really robbed.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think Tarpanay was better than him. I think Tarpanay was better than AFB. I think he would have got it. And I think AFB is more to do with, the Sharks are no doubt better because he's in that side.
Yeah.
So are the Tigers, but
I tell you what, the Dally M points itself, though, how can anyone sit here and tell me that Payne Haas is 20 points below Tedesco? Please.
Yeah, crazy. And he's done incredibly well to get that high for his position.
Bloody oath.
Yeah, wild. Okay, so we have got Haas at 1, Webcke and Petro 2 and 3, Maria Hargraves at 4. That is our front row forward table as it stands right now. This is the table, Matty, that I am very confident changes a lot in the next 20 years.
Definitely.
I think in 20 years' time, there's a very good chance that Webcke, Petro, and Rhea Hargraves could potentially fall off this table.
Yeah, just because of the way it's changed, how the build of the modern front rower is. It's, as you said, it's probably changed more than any position.
Yeah.
Maybe lock as well, but it's kind of the same thing, but different versions. Lock, the positions change. Front rowers, the athleticism change, but they're all kind of in the middle.
Yeah,
So,
and I think International Rugby League, as you said, it's the battle of the forward packs at the moment. and whoever happens to be the top dog coming out of that, whether it is Payne for Samoa, whether it's Tino for Australia, whatever it might be, big watch. I think that's the other thing too, for Fifita's credit. Him and Tamalolo obviously changed the International Rugby League game. That can't be underestimated. But to think that when Tonga won that game a few years ago, that was like one of the biggest moments in rugby league history. If Tonga beat Australia next year, I'll be like,
yeah, 100%.
You're at $2.50.
Yeah.
It's not that wild, which is just a sign of where the game's at. Front row forwards, Haas, Webcke, Petro, and Roria Hargraves. Cracking episode there. Make sure you're back here over the next few days. We will have the hooker conversation, Cameron Smith and who else. That'll be an absolute cracker. Thanks for joining us once again on the Guru Podcast.